So as you saw, amphibians up until the last few years were perhaps considered amongst the more neglected groups of vertebrates. Fortunately, things are really turning around for amphibians thanks to the work that Robin and others are doing. But now we're going to go on to another group of species which maybe are still more neglected, and Tony's going to talk to us about some of the invertebrates, particularly linked to limestone systems.
Yeah, it's working, yes it is. Okay, so guys, what is it about size? The IG targets encourage it. Mine's bigger than yours. You know, I've got the big one in Hawaii, but I've got the Greenland one. I'm from Zhangjiang in China with 360,000 kilometers. Big is good, big is great. But I want to make an appeal for the little bits that aren't protected, that will never become national nature reserves, and in particular, as Mike just said, next line. I want to talk about limestone systems. I want to talk about the isolated limestone towers. I want to talk about caves. So, I get lots of people coming to me saying, Tony, can we just have a layer of limestone and we'll put it on our maps, WCMC for one. It's not as easy as that. There is no good limestone layer. People make attempts. This is from the University of Auckland, and it's a carbonate map. And you can see that clearly the quality is different in different places. In Africa, carbonate, believe it or not, well, believe this or not, occurs in great big lumpy bits, and in Asia it occurs in little tiddly bits. And when you actually look at the map in detail, you find that the pixel size is really quite coarse, and by the time you want to get down to Peninsula Malaysia, which is what I'm going to be talking quite a lot about now, it's kind of useless. There's a group in Malaysia who part-time, because there's no money in limestone, have compared this to the geology map of Malaysia and then compared it to their analysis on the ground of where the limestone hills are. And I would believe the on-the-ground one, using Google Earth, and these others don't really bear any relation to fact, and anyway are very coarse. This is an example. This is a place called Gunung Kantang in the west side of the peninsula, and it's a cement quarry. Lafarge, based in Paris, is in control of that. And it's a single block of limestone, fairly isolated, and as you can see, much of it is in fact a quarry. And the intention is, with the exception of one small bit for reasons of ownership and concessions, which don't need to concern us, the idea is to remove it and go beyond ground level, go beyond. If you look in the red list release that went public about 19 minutes ago, you'll see that there's a species of snail which is extinct. Its single limestone hill is now a pond, and all that could be called hill has vanished, and so has the snail, which was found only on that thing. So there we've got this entire limestone hill is 130 hectares. And you can see from that a lot of that is actually bare rock being blown apart by Lafarge. The good news is, well, the amazing news is, this is a list of recently discovered, they don't have vernacular names yet, of all the endemic birds and mammals found on that hill. It's just a remarkable place to have that degree of endemism. I don't know of anywhere else that's got that much vertebrate endemicity. It's just amazing. Of course, I'm lying through my teeth. It's just the other stuff. It's the stuff. The top three are snails. You can see the third one there. I don't know if you saw it in the news on Mongabay and places, that we named a snail down up the north of the hill after Lafarge, quoting all the wonderful things they say about how they're going to just do good things for biodiversity and how they love it. So now they have the choice to either make it go extinct or to conserve it. The fourth one is the most remarkable spider. It lived around the time of the dinosaurs. It's got a segmented abdomen, and for the archaeologists among you, you'll know how significant that is. The fifth one is a cave-adapted gecko. Cool. Very long legs, big eye. The next one, the Vatican, is a tree, a dipracarp tree found only on this hill. The next one is a small herb, and the last one is a small tree. Three of them have been assessed, hardly surprising they're going to be CR. And if the fires continue, they will soon become extinct. Now, this is the sort of stuff we're talking about. This is sort of typical of limestone systems. It's your whip spiders, blind, elongated beetles, white millipedes. I know it's hard to get excited, but they are incredibly rare at the best of times and easily threatened. Wood lice, pseudo-scorpions, and on the outside of the hills you have these wonderful snails with forms and colours even that really expand your opinion and perception of what snails can be. Snails that seem to be going around towards the left very happily, and then at some point they decide to go right and look over their shoulder. I don't know why they do it. There's one exception here which actually isn't a concern in this context, and that's the bat. The bats can fly away, they can live underneath a bridge for a while, they'll find somewhere else likely. They are not restricted absolutely to the limestone systems. Who gives a toss? This Associated Press ran a story on this about a quarry that Holcim, major IUCN donor, the Holcim quarry in southern Vietnam, and highlights the fact that in the Holcim area there are endemic genera. We were going to name a new genus of snail after Holcim, Holcimia, two species, but it got a bit unpleasant. They really didn't want to go down that route. Here's the AZE map, which doesn't show up very well, does it? Anyway, the point is that AZE, I suppose by definition, doesn't cover any of this. There's very few red-listed, limestone-restricted species up yet. We're working on it slowly, but it's a major issue. A, they're not protected, B, they're not vertebrates, and C, they're not red-listed. Some of those things disqualify these things from attention. Okay, we're working on it. We were here because we've at some point studied nature reserve design, and we know that you want the bigger bits, and you'll take something near your big bit into the protected area. But a small bit of something, some way away, probably doesn't get incorporated into the protected area. But it's a little bit in the limestone context saying, Galapagos Islands. They're just way over there and they're pretty small. So let's forget the Galapagos Islands and concentrate on other things in Ecuador. These islands live in a sea. These limestone islands live in a sea of palm oil or rice fields or whatever, or land which is simply geologically inappropriate for the species which live there. This is Malaysia, the peninsula, and you'll see the green, which are the protected areas. And now with tigers, we've got tiger landscapes, and we've got great plans. I'll put on the Gunung Kantang site there, the star, which you probably can't see because it's about the size of a pixel. I'll enlarge it 30 times. There you go, the red star there. But emphasize 30 times more than it should be. And you realize that it's very hard to give attention to these things because they are so small. In China, I was nearly getting money for a particular limestone area, and then the government decided to make it a national nature reserve, wrap lots of things into it, including about 20,000 people, and the whole thing fell apart. Now, you would have thought that the cement companies would be interested in this because they are causing extinctions officially today. And if you go onto cement websites, you'll find, well, you'll find a frog, which is good. Fields of poppies. That's just so nice. You've got a tree leaf. There's a dragonfly down the bottom. And they do all this stuff because when you remove the hill, you get left with a hole and you make duck ponds. And the cement industry, let's not be funny, let's be serious. Cement companies do make some of the best duck ponds around, and they give each other awards for duck ponds. So let's not be facetious or cynical about it. But these are probably not the big global issues that cement companies should be facing. To convert these amazing communities of species into something which you can find elsewhere isn't really what they call restoration. And probably I'm wrong, there are actually now 2 surveys that have been done by some cement companies, properly done. One has actually taken the recommendations of the people that did the study. One is somewhat recalcitrant, I won't name it, but it's allied with IUCN. There's also concerns over the tourist cave industry. I'm sure we've all been into caves with the lights and the sound and all that. And what happens in some places is they bring in high-pressure hoses and they go like that and they remove all the guano, which is the habitat of most of these little things, at least inside a cave. And they will build paths and they'll put lighting in, lots of colours of lighting. The bats leave and you've destroyed the system. I don't think there's any study on that yet. We'll work towards that. So we're working on KBAs. We see KBAs as a good access point for these concerns. And with friends in the Modest Questions group, we'll be doing that. And this is about AZEs and other things. And it'd be great to have discussion on how the AZE responds to this. Thank you.